Hello all, in this video lecture we are going to discuss out about a basic architecture of 8051 microcontroller. So let's begin. So when we talk about a basic block diagram of 8051 microcontroller, so here this diagram represents it. So mainly when we compare the architecture of microcontroller with that of microprocessor, the two striking features are get highlighted. The first one, the internal memory is present in case of 8051 microcontroller, whereas the four different inbuilt ports which are named as P0, P1, P2 and P3 are available with 8051 microcontroller. So as discussed earlier and as shown in this block diagram, when we talk about 8051 microcontroller, whatever the basic components of embedded systems are exist like memory, timer section, serial port, input output port, oscillator, interrupt control along with CPU, all these major components are integrated within this 8051 microcontroller IC, and whatever the internal communication that exists between all these blocks, or we can say component, is done with the help of central data carrying bus, which is of 8-bit wide, and hence this central processing unit is going to process 8-bit data simultaneously in 8051 microcontroller, and that's why 8051 microcontroller is known as 8-bit controller. So let us see each of this block in detail. So the first one is interrupt block. So when we talk about 8051 microcontroller, total 6 interrupt sources are available, whereas in case of 8052 we are there with 8 interrupt sources. So here this block diagram represents the internal interrupt block associated with 8051 microcontroller. So whatever these 6 interrupt sources are there, out of that the one interrupt source is simple reset, whereas the rest of the 5 are, the first one is external hardware interrupt 0, second one external hardware interrupt 1, timer 0, timer 1, and 1 is with serial communication. Whereas in case of 8052, instead of 2, the 3 timers are present, one interrupt is associated with the timer 2 in case of specially 8052. So when we talk about a concept of interrupt, this interrupt is mainly used in order to give a service, and the code or the routine which is get executed once the interrupt signal is generated, that routine or that code or that service routine is mainly called as interrupt service routine. So simple, consider one scenario. In this scenario, we are having the architecture like this. One is a master and another is a slave. So whenever the slave wants some urgent execution or service from master, the slave is going to generate one special signal, and that signal is called as a interrupt signal. So once the master receives this interrupt signal, then the master is going to complete its current execution and going to stop, and then whatever the service required, that means the code which is to be required to, executed, that is done by this master, and this specific, say, the routine is called as a interrupt service routine. In short, the code which is get executed or the task which is get executed after generation of interrupt signal is basically called as a interrupt service routine. So in this way, in case of 8051 microcontroller, the 5 different ways are there with the help of which the interrupt signal can be generated. The next, one of the most striking feature for 8051 microcontroller is on-chip random access memory and read-only memory that present. In case of 8051, we are having 128 byte RAM and 4 KB ROM. So we know that the RAM is used to store a data during the execution, whereas the code that we want to store permanently, to store that code, this read-only memory is used. So in case of 8051, total we are having 4 KB ROM, whereas in case of 8052 we are having 8 KB ROM, whereas in case of 8031 the internal ROM is absent. For 8051 we are having 128 byte RAM, whereas for 8052 along with this 128 byte additional 128 byte RAM is present, in the sense the total 256 byte RAM is present in case of 8052. Here, when we pay attention towards this ROM specification, these are given in this way. The first figure defines the total capacity of this ROM, whereas the second figure defines in the number of bits that can be stored at one specific location. The next internal component is a timer. In case of 8051, we are having two timers. The first one is timer 0 and the second one is timer 1. This block is used as a timer, which is mainly helpful to generate some delay in a program or to perform the timing related activities, and for this the internal clock source is used, whereas the second operation that done is mainly a counter operation, and this counter operation is useful when we are counting an external events. Both timer 0 and timer 1 are basically a 16-bit wide register, and as 8051 has 8-bit architecture, these two 16-bit registers can be used as two separate 8-bit registers. For example, if I am going to focus on timer 0, then this timer 0 is a 16-bit wide, and as per our requirement we can use this 16-bit timer as two different 8-bit register. So when we are going to use a lower 8 bits, we are going to say this as TL0 as one register, and when we are going to utilize the higher 8 bits, we are going to say this as a TH0. And the similarly for timer 1, means the timer 1, which is again a 16-bit wide register, can be used as two 8-bit register like TL1 associated with lower 8 bit and TH1 associated with the upper 8 bits. And next block is serial port. Basically, we know that when we compare a serial communication and parallel communication, in case of parallel communication, whatever data available, that data is transmitted simultaneously. For example, if we are having a 8-bit data, in parallel communication, all these 8 bits are transmitted simultaneously. Whereas in case of serial communication, available data is transmitted bit by bit. So first LSB bit followed with the next. In this way we are going to transmit the data. So hence, whatever the serial port that present in 8051 microcontroller is used to receive or transmit a data bit by bit. In the sense, it is going to follow serial communication. So talking about a serial port, basically the two dedicated pins are present. So these pins are RxD pin and TXD pin. RxD pin is used to receive data serially, whereas the TXD pin is used to transmit a data serially. Inside this serial port, one SFR, that is SBUF, is present, that is serial buffer register. Whatever data that received serially is available on RxD pin. It is stored into SBUF, and the data which is to be transmitted is first put down into SBUF register, which is transmitted through this TXD pin. The next one is the most striking feature, that is input-output ports. So as discussed earlier, in case of 8051 microcontroller, we are having total 4 ports, namely port P0, P1, P2 and P3. All these ports are 8-bit wide. In the sense, when we talk about port P0, the port P0 consists of the port pin like P0.0, 0.1, 0.2 up to P0.7. So in this way, one port P0 consists of 8 different port pins which are named as P0.0 up to P0.7. Similarly, when we are going to consider port P1, then P1.0, P1.1. In this way, each of these port is having 8 different port pins. These all port pins are GPIO in the sense these are basically a general purpose input output port pin. Each port pin is capable to receive a data or transmit a data. And when we reset a device, by default, all these port pins are going to work as a input port pin. So in order to configure a specific port pin as an input, we have to write 1 on each port pin, and when we want to configure each port pin as an output, we have to put 0 on each port pin. The last and most important component that associated with 8051 microcontroller is a oscillator. So this 8051 microcontroller, in order to satisfy the internal clock requirement, consists of one on-chip oscillator which works with the help of external clock, and a quartz crystal is connected between pin XTAL1 and XTAL2. So most widely 11.0592 MHz crystal is used in order to fulfill this clock requirement of 8051 microcontroller. So in this way, this microcontroller internal blocks